Hello, welcome to the Afrocentric Woman. I'm normally I'm normally not on this late on a weeknight, with tomorrow being a work day and all that. I'm usually not online, but y'all, I had to come online because I saw the craziest story. The craziest story was sent to me. But I have a similar story, but I totally avoided getting into the situation that this lady got into. I am going to talk about I'm going to tell you the rules to follow. And if you live by these rules and principles, you can't and won't be scammed. I may add to this list, but this is a great beginning. If you could think of additional principles and rules to live by, please put them in the comments. But I'm going to share the ones that I came up with so far. Anyway, so let me tell you about the story I got. This woman met this man in November of last year. So we're talking what, 4 months? Yeah, 4 months. I think he moved in with her and talking about marriage. He wanted, that they need to be rushing towards marriage, da da da. And he invited her to go look at engagement rings so that he could find out what kind of rings she likes, what kind of jewelry she likes, what size she wears, and that kind of stuff. So they go down to the jewelry store. She finds a ring that she really likes. He applies for credit. He's not approved. And so he's like, "Well, why don't you, apply for it, but I'm going to pay the bill. I'll be responsible for it. This is my gift to you, you know." And so she finances her own ring and gets the ring, buys her own ring. Okay. So then the next day, he was like, "Oh, well, you got an engagement ring. It goes both ways. I need an engagement ring. People need to know that I'm a taken man." So, okay, they go back to a different jewelry store. He picks out his engagement ring. Of course, she pays for it. Um, Shortly thereafter, he picks a fight with her and leaves. And she won't allow him to leave. She calls the police because she tells him he should leave the ring. And he's like, he doesn't want to give the ring up. He doesn't want to give it up. Y'all know this is a struggle bandit. I don't need to tell you that. I don't need to tell you that. You know who it is. Anywho, so he doesn't want to leave the ring, and so the police come out and the police say, "Oh, well, this is a civil matter. We can't, it's not stolen property. It was a gift. You have to work that out in court, whose property it is, but there was no robbery or anything like that. That's a criminal offense." So he walks out scot-free, having paid no bills, having gotten this piece of jewelry from this woman, and he's just tra la la, probably on to the next. He could probably pawn that or sell that or whatever, and maybe have a couple of struggle dollars to live so that he can scam the next woman. Um, I believe that he applied for the credit knowing his credit score is a negative 15. He already knew that he wasn't going to be qualified for it, but he all of this was a performative gesture, to try to make this woman believe that he was actually going to buy her an engagement ring. And I believe that especially black women get so caught up in the idea of marriage that they just lose all common sense and they just go off into this euphoric, fantasy land where they're just high off of their own fantasies and just, and aren't make it just become totally illogical. Totally illogical. Like you knew this guy wasn't really working. How was he going to pay the bill? Anyway, so let me tell you a similar story, personal story. Um, I was dating this guy and back then I was kind of like had one foot, no, yeah, I don't know, y'all. I was just getting started. I was really kind of just getting started. He was one of the guys that I dated when I was just getting started. And so I think I was wearing like jasmine oil or um what's the other one? Neroli oil, jasmine, stuff like that. Like I was wearing like natural oils. And he was like, "I really don't like oils. I prefer perfume. I prefer, perfume a fragrance." And I was like, "Oh, really? So you have a problem with my oils?" He was like, "Yeah, I really don't like the oils. Please." I said, "Are you asking me not to wear the oils?" "Yeah, if you can stop." I was like, "Well, let's go to the mall right now and let's pick out a perfume that we both like and let's go ahead and get it." And it's like, he had complained so much he couldn't not do it. So we go to the mall and I find some Chanel that I like. And I don't know why. I don't know why he did this. The people always offer, "Would you like to apply for a card, and save 20% today if you get approved?" And so he's like, "Yeah, sure, yeah, yeah, let's apply for it." So he applied for it and he was denied, of course. And then he looks over at me and he says, "Well, why don't you just go ahead and apply and I'll just pay you back." And I was like, "No. I'm not I said, "No, I can't mess with my credit right now. I can't have any new inquiries. I have to keep everything stable. I'm trying to get some property, so I'm unable to do it." I mean, I could have just said no. That would have also been enough. But I gave this explanation about how I can't have any inquiries on my credit. So I was like, "Just pay cash, just pay cash." And so he paid cash, and tra la la, I walk out with my gift. So that's exactly what this lady should have done. I mean, if he is not able to get financing and he doesn't have the cash, then he's not serious. What kind of husband can he be if he can't think about it? Think about the delusion of so many black women. If he can't even get approved for to buy you a ring, what on God's green earth can he do for you? What can he do for you? His credit is shot. He ain't got no cash. What can he do for you? You taking on a liability. And it's like, I want to feel sorry for her, but I'm more so just disgusted with just the mindset that, like I'm just ill. It's just very disappointing. It's very disappointing, this mindset that you would be willing to let all logic go out the door for the illusion of marriage. And you have no standards, obviously, because you're willing to marry someone with bad credit and no cash. So you have no standards. The only thing that this guy is he's just a warm body. That's it. Just a warm body. And you're willing to financially mess up your life because of this. The fantasy of it all. The fantasy of it all. Anyway, I'm gonna get into hey girl, I'm gonna get into these rules and I'm gonna kind of tell you how they they could possibly like manipulate you. Or, I don't know, y'all. I feel like the people who really need this video are not really checking for this content. Because I'm preaching to the choir with a lot of you ladies, and I already know that y'all know not how not to get scammed. Um, m- who I would like to get this video probably ain't really checking for this content. But anywho, I'm gonna put it out there into the universe anyway. Okay, so the first rule is do not brag about your own wealth, about your money, about your job, about your assets. Don't brag about them. You're not there to show him what you bring to the table. You're not there to flex. You're not his competition. You're just there to be fabulous. That's really all you need to really focus on, is just being fabulous. Don't worry about bragging, and avoid bragging, because bragging will set you up for failure down the road, because you're it you're not going to be really be catered to, or you're not going to be seen as someone who needs help, even if you don't need it. And see, this is where the fem cells kind of like come over here and say, "Oh, waving their fist." um you can make your own money and spend his money, and I don't know why the fem cells can't get this through their skulls. And they're like, "All you guys do is just tell people to sit on the couch and not do anything. I have my own job." And it's like, girl, stop. Like, you want to pay your own bills, pay your own bills. Stay from over here. Okay. Because we make our own money and we spend his money. Okay. That's how we do. That's how we roll. Okay. So Please stop. Downplay your success and focus on his success. This is going to set you up for the next rule. Don't ever lend or give a man money. And you might say, Afrocentric woman, he came to me because his grandma died and he has to contribute to the funeral. So is he a man or is he not a man? Okay, so why don't you have no money saved? I mean, I wouldn't say this, but this would be my thought process. Why don't you have any money saved? If you knew your grandma was sick, why didn't you get a insurance policy for her? Or why don't you go out there and get an extra job? You can't take on a consultancy gig or something like. Why is your first why is asking me, a woman, why would that ever cross your mind? It's crazy to me how people would fix their mouth to like ask a woman for money. And I've seen people ask single mothers with multiple children for money. Like, if anybody needs the money, it would be her children, not your grown ass. Okay. Now, what I tell women on the flip side is, you can't stop people from asking you for stuff. You can't stop men from asking. You can't stop people from asking. But you always have the option to say no, or just don't answer your phone, or just don't answer your door. They knocking at the door. Just turn your light off and just don't answer the door. There you go. That's a complete answer. Don't be a people pleaser. Don't try to put yourself out into a bad situation to help someone else out. If you are not shored up, you cannot be able to assist anybody. But it doesn't matter what is going on. Don't ever give a man money. Don't ever lend a man money. Just don't do it. If you live by this rule, I promise you, you will be saved from so many scams and schemes. You will also be saved from heartbreak. Well, I paid the bills for the past year and I can't believe he's cheating on me. Well, listen, in retrospect, don't do that. Don't give no grown ass. Well, his car broke down and he can't get to work. That's not your problem. If he can't figure it out, then he's not the man for you. There you go. Happy birthday. Because these type of situations that come up are going to show you what he is made of. A real man shouldn't even fix his mouth to ask you for no money. So you should already know, like, the content of his character. If he opens up his mouth and asks you for money, if he opens up his mouth, that already tells you everything that you need to know. But the answer is always no. And you don't even need to explain. Just no. And I would say that, I don't need to explain that to you. No, unable to do that. This is key. Don't say I can't do it right now. Because if you say I can't do it right now, he's going to ask you in a week, because that was last week and today is a different day. So don't leave it open ended. Close the loop. No, period. The end. Okay, don't ever give a man money. The next one is, do not go into any scheme, scam, or business, so-called business opportunity with no dude. There's all kinds of videos on YouTube. You can look at it, showing guys how to scam women out of their tax return, how to scam women out of lump sum child support, or whatever. Scam and scheme them out of money. They do it through crypto, they do it through get rich quick, they do it through, oh, we're going to flip this house. They do it through, oh, I got this business opportunity, and they get you all hyped up. Yeah, we're going to make all this money now, but I need, and see, if you follow the other rule I said, don't ever give a man money, you wouldn't even be in a situation. But if he holds his hands, I say, okay, well, it's time for you to put into the pot for this thing, and then guess what? Boom, the business don't work out and you out your money. They even have like fake crypto websites that looks like, I mean, they look real, like, oh, if there's people trading on here and it's going up, 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 up. I mean, surely we've all heard enough about all the crypto collapses to know, don't get involved with that. But that's one of the scams that they have. They have tax fraud scams, boosting scams. I mean, these bandits got all kinds of scams and schemes out here. Don't get involved. It'll help save you legally, and it's going to save you your money because you're always going to lose. You always going to lose. They like, oh, I don't know what happened. Don't ever go into business with no man. That's not your husband. You want to go into business with your husband down the line. Hey, that's your prerogative. But some man that's not you're not married to, don't ever go into business with a man. You can love him with all your heart, but stay out of his business. If he fails, let him fail on his own. If he wins, let him take all the glory. Let him take all of the praise. Let him puff his chest out because he did it on his own without your help. Don't go into business with a man. Don't go into no scam or no scheme. Don't try to flip your money with no dude so that you don't end up with egg on your face. Okay, the next one is this. Never take an investment into your company. Only accept gifts. You got a business that you're trying to start, don't tell him, oh, I need you to invest some money into my business. Or if he offers, oh, let me invest some money into your business, just decline and be like, well, I'm not really structuring my company like that, but I could definitely use a gift that would help float me while I invest into my own company. So what you're telling him is give the money to me, so that will help me survive while I'm putting money into my business. So the money is going to me, the money is not going to the business. And there's clever little ways that you can kind of make sure that you cover your tracks with that as well. Because I mean, if he has a paper trail like a wire transfer or something like that, he could always go down the line if he becomes like a bitter Bob and try to get some equity in your company or try to sue you or something like that. So as soon as you get the money, just send him a text message that says, "Thank you, baby, for the gift." Something along those lines. Something along those lines so that you have in writing that it was a gift. If he doesn't contest in the next message, "Oh, no, 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 this wasn't a gift, this was an investment." If he just says, "You're welcome, babe," then he's agreeing that it was a gift. There you go. You covered your butt. But don't take any investments into your business. Just don't do it. Even if he insists, even if he's like, oh, this is another one. Don't let him work in your company. Okay? Because if it's your company, 9 times out of 10, you're the CEO or, you know, you're the highest executive. So he can't be higher than you, right? So if he comes to work in your company, he's going to be working for you. So that just totally changes the dynamic of everything. It changes the dynamic of everything because now you're the one providing. Let me write that down. Don't let him work for you. And I would also follow that up with don't work for him. Keep your business and your personal separate. Now, if it's your husband, that's a different story. It's a family business. You might figure out a way to get involved with a family business. You might get your kids involved or other family members. That's a different story. I'm talking about somebody that you're not married to. Don't work for him because he's going to be if he pays you salary, he's going to probably think that he doesn't have to give you an allowance or give you extra money or anything like that because he's like he knows how much you're making, right? And he's cutting the check. So he's not going to want to cut a business check and then turn around and cut you a personal check. So just don't work for him. Be a cheerleader on the sidelines, but just don't work for him. Let him figure it out on his own. Uh and don't let him work for you and you don't work for him. I'm writing this down. Testing. Okay. Making sure I didn't mute. Don't work for him. Okay. The next one is do not allow a man to move in with you. Do not, under any circumstance, let a man move in with you. I don't care if his house burned down, he should have some money saved up to get him a hotel room or something. It don't matter what is going on. Whatever the case may be, don't ever let a man move in with you. Just don't do it. it can lead to all kinds of drama. I'm not saying don't cohabitate. Hey, do whatever you feel you need to do, or whatever you feel like is the next step in your relationship. But either you move into his place, or y'all get a place together, or he gets a place for you all to start anew, a fresh start together. But don't let him move into your house. You will have issues with trying to evict him if things don't work out. You will have issues. What if he just stops working and then you're the one who's responsible because you're on the mortgage or you're on the lease? Um, you have hobosexuals who will tell you anything that you want to hear because they need a roof over their head. They need a warm place to sleep. And so they're going to be, pulling you into the fantasy. And because so many black women are already delusional and in fantasy, it's not that hard. It's not even that hard to pull black women into fantasy because they're already there. They're already there. Don't ever let a man move in with you. Just don't do it. I'll tell you a little story. I was dealing with these clients last year sometime, probably like early fall, and it was a beautiful home, and I was like, man, they really have such a beautiful home. And I could tell, like, because of the, the finishings and, some of the stuff in the house, it looks like everything looks custom, literally, like, everything looks custom in that house. Nothing in that house looks cookie cutter. Nothing in that house looks like, "Oh, the builder just puts this in all the houses." Like, everything was very meticulously picked out and coordinated. It was just a gorgeous home. And we were kind of wrapping up working with each other, and I said, "You know what? You guys have such a beautiful home." And I'd mentioned, some stuff before, and like the guy, like her husband, he always kind of got quiet, when I would make this mention about the house. Um and then I'd said that to both of them, and he just kind of like got quiet. I think he put his head down, and I was like, "Okay, well, that's strange, whatever." And so anyway, I was just working with the wife on something else, and he was nowhere around. And so she kind of mentions that that's her house that he moved into. So she built that house. She picked those finishings. She picked everything. She picked the flooring and, the hardware and the chandeliers and the everything, the colors, everything, the tiles. This woman did it all on her own, and he moved in with her. So when they got married, he had an apartment and she had a house. So I can imagine that there's probably some shame that he has associated with this house, that he really didn't, has no part really in creating the home. He just moved in. And who knows what that shame and possible resentment can do within the relationship, that he can't be proud of his home because he didn't build it. He did not build it. She did. So to avoid that, so you're going to avoid the potential resentment and shame that a man can have for not building his own house, because a man should want to construct and build his own home, period. And you also protect yourself from hobosexuals that jump from bed to bed to bed to bed to bed to bed to bed, living off of women. They with their sister, then they live with their grandma, then they live with their mom, then they, live with their cousin, and they're just all, and then they have their ex-girlfriend, and they live with their child's mother, and you know, one of my friends' child's father called her and asked to stay with her. I was like, you got to be lying. Like, the audacity that these bandits have. Like, you don't help your children. You don't know whether they eat. You don't know whether they are sick. You don't know what's going on at school. You don't never come to no events. And you have the audacity to fix your mouth to ask me to move in with me. Like, you're really delusional. But they have all the audacity in the world. They really, really do. They have enough audacity for every male group. And he's like, "Well, I'm living in my car." And she was like, "Well, you know, sorry, you can't come here." You know, black women We are not a rehabilitation center. Okay? We are not. If you're going to be rehabbing anybody, rehab your damn self. Rehab yourself. Rehab yourself from all of the trauma, rehab yourself from the toxicity, rehab yourself from the wrong teachings, right? From the wrong philosophies, for the blackmail worship. Rehab yourself. Like, we're not a rehabilitation center for other people, not especially not males, underdeveloped males. No. If you follow these principles, you won't get scammed. It will be virtually impossible to be scammed. Any type of scheme that involves multiple steps, like, oh, let me send you this, and then you send it back, and then pay my accountant, and then it's a scam. It's a scam. Just don't do it. Giving, this is 2023. Sending and receiving money is the easiest it's ever been in human like existence. There are so many apps and wire, services, and there's websites. There's just so many ways to send somebody some money. So no one should need any type of extra acrobatics from you to try to give you money. If it's multiple steps, it should be one step. He sends you the money. That's it. That's the only step. If there's any other steps involved, it's a scam. Well, I'm gonna send you this check, and then you go down, and it's gonna be da da da, da, and then you deposit the check, and then go ahead and go to the ATM, and then give this back to me. It's a scam. So let's review the list. Let's review the list. Number one, don't brag about your wealth. Downplay your success and focus on his. Number two, don't lend or give a man money ever. Never, ever. Number three, don't go into any scam, scheme, or so called business opportunity with a male. Just don't do it. Number four, never take an investment into your company. Only accept gifts, personal gifts. Number five, don't allow a man to move in with you ever. Don't do it. Don't do it. And finally, number six, don't let him work for you and you don't work for him. Okay. So there it is, ladies. That's some principles that will help you stay safe out here in these streets and not get scammed, like this woman did. I really hope that she gets her money back. I hope that I hope that she's able to recoup, and I hope that she has learned a lesson from what she did. And you know what? I'll tell you, I knew a girl when I was in high school that bought her own ring as well, and hers was more just for the delusion of it all. She just like wanted to buy this ring, and she said it was from this guy, and she bought it herself. So anyway, let's live in reality. Let's come out of the clouds. Let's live in reality. Let's deal with real resources, real time, real tangible things, and logic. Get all your business squared away before you let your hair down and fall in love and da 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 da. Get the business squared away. Okay. All right, beautiful ladies. I will talk to y'all soon. Have a blessed day or night. Please like, share, and subscribe. If you know somebody that needs this information, just drop it on your social media and hopefully they'll see it. Okay. Bye.